Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a football stadium slash soccer stadium, if you prefer. Also, if you see where I'm hiding in the intro, let me know down there in the comments where you thought you saw me. The white concrete grid on the screen represents the amount of space required to make the stadium. Feel free to make this grid in your world, and also, using the instructions on screen, find the starting position and mark it out if you want to make the build in the exact same way as I am. This is especially useful if you are placing this in a city or somewhere that is surrounded by other builds. Here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin by destroying the block that is underneath the previously determined start position. And then dig left of this by 2, 1, 2, and right of this, 1, 2. Replace all of these blocks with white concrete. And then take the ends of this row and dig up and down, and then join these two mini rows together with a row of 3 extended out diagonally to make a circle. Fill the circle in using white concrete, and this is the center of the stadium. Next, we want to take the middle of the left and right sides of the circle and extend outwards on both sides simultaneously by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to extend the 7th block forwards and backwards in the ground on both sides by 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and so on and so forth on each one of the other sides. Once you've done that, we then want to take each one of the rows of 18 and extend them inwards towards the centre by 3. 1, 2, 3. We then want to extend them inwards once again, moving towards us back towards the centre of the pitch by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is really useful to do at each one of the 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's extend over all the way over to the opposite side and do the exact same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To which we then want to join those 6 blocks together. And then we are going to extend, coming back towards the top here, we are going to extend inwards on both sides by a further 3. 1, 2, 3. And then inwards again towards the centre of the pitch. 1, 2, 3. And let's do this on this side. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And then we'll join those 2 rows together at the front and at the back. And in doing this, this actually marks out the entire playing field. So we then want to join the opposite side together, the 2 rows of 6, come back towards the back, and then extend this to these 2 pairs here, 1, 2, 3, and then inwards 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, join it together at the front, and then join it together at the back. And that is absolutely perfect. That is the entire playing area marked out. All we have to do is fill it in with white concrete. With all of the markings added into the ground, we can now add the nets. There is a net on each end of the field, and we want to place 2 diorite wall extending upwards from where the smaller rectangle joins back to the end larger rectangle. 1, 2, and 1, 2. We then want to place smooth quartz slab on top and extend across to the opposite side. We then want to place 2 cobwebs extending backwards from the bottom diorite wall, 1, 2, and 1, 2, one on top of the first initial cobweb, and then join the back and bottom cobweb left to right and the upper cobweb left to right like this. And that is how we make the net. Really simple, and of course we can very quickly do this on the opposite side. So these 2 corners here, 1, 2, 1, 2, smooth quartz slab on top, join them both together, 2 cobwebs coming out of the bottom diorite, 1 coming out of the top, join them together left and right, and there you have it. Really simple net. With the playing area pretty much 100% completed, we can now work on the inward ground portion of the stadium. So, using blue concrete, we want to work our way back over to the nets. It doesn't really matter which end of the field we start on. So, starting from the diorite wall in the ground and moving backwards by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this 5th block here, we want to place 3 blue concrete extending up from the ground. 1, 2, 3. We want to do the same from the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. Join the 3rd blocks together, left and right like this at the top, and then extend the blue concrete left and right on the ground by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We then want to take those 7th blocks and extending as if we are going to the opposite side of the stadium, we want to go down, right, or rather, on the opposite side here, down, out, like this. The end result is the same. There we go. Now, we want to come all the way back over to the opposite side. We want to, from the 2 diorite wall, extend back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and place 1, 2, 3 blue concrete, and then on the opposite side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. Join them together at the top, and then extend the bottom blue concretes outwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we will preemptively down, out, and let's do the same thing on the opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then down, out, and then all we have to do from here, this is really simple, you should be able to join both of these rows together. These are really long rows extending from one side of the stadium all the way over to the opposite side. And this is going to kind of set the scene for the entire rest of the stadium. Whilst it might look like an intimidating build, it's really simple as long as you make it the smart way. Before we start mass building all of the seating area and the outer portion of the stadium, we have to mark out the locker rooms and also the way that we will actually get into the stadium. So it's essentially a bunch of tunnels. The tunnels on the left and right side of the stadium that extend from the centre are how we are going to get in and out. The ones behind the nets are where the players will come in and out of the actual changing rooms and onto the field. So, from the centre of the build, where we have a really handy white concrete line, we want to come towards the outer boundary here where we have this blue concrete, and we want to place in the ground, we want to destroy the block, and then dig left and right like this, so we've got a row of 3. Place black stone stairs on the ends of this row of 3 that we have right here, and then place blue concrete extending outwards from the black stone stairs. We want to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blue concrete extending out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can raise up these rows of blue concrete a little bit. I probably wouldn't extend them up more than 3 rows in total. The reason that we're doing this is to mark out, as I said, the way that we will actually get in and out of the stadium, and it's just a little bit easier to mark it out now rather than have to carve it into the stadium later. So there we go, that's perfect. Onto the opposite side, we want to do the same thing, of course, so following the centre line to the blue concrete, and then outside of it we dig into the ground, left and right by 1, black stone stairs on the end, blue concrete on the end of the stairs, and then extend outwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 instead of 8 because we started off with a blue concrete already. And then we are going to place 3 rows of blue concrete on top of this, and this is pretty much going to encapsulate the top of the tunnel. I don't think we'll have to extend it up anymore. So, as we take a little look at this, that is absolutely perfect. Now, all we have to do with the locker rooms, or the changing rooms, whatever you want to call them really, the actual player tunnels, we just want to extend the blue concrete backwards. So, the top row here and the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we're just going to join it together. Now, some of these rows are irrelevant, but I basically just want to add the top to this, like so, and I just want to mark out as far as the stadium will extend backwards, and hopefully you guys will see why a little later on. So, we just want to have that marked out, that's perfect, and let's come to the opposite side of the stadium as well. And once again, we'll just take the bottoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 2 rows away from the boundary. We'll extend across, join it to the opposite corner like this, and then take the top, and then we'll just extend it all the way back. There's no need to do the sides of the tunnel and such for now. We'll work on that a little bit later. It's more important that we just get this general shape worked out. And this is going to make so much more sense once we do actually start working on this. And there we go, that's perfect, that is what we want to have so far. This next part is really simple, but will take some time to do. Let's get started. So, grab your polished deep slate and work your way to one of the 4 segments of the stadium that we've kind of divided up for ourselves. We want to begin by placing a layer of polished deep slate directly behind the row of blue concrete that we placed earlier. The deep slate will curve around the blue concrete bend that we have on each one of the 4 corners of the stadium. We then want to place another layer of deep slate directly behind this, once again curving round, making sure that we join those blocks together on the corners. Those want to be solid rows. Once that has been done, we then want to do the exact same thing, except above the second layer of deep slate and behind it is where we want to build the next row. So above and behind, moving upwards and outwards, once again joining the deep slate in the corners. This is how we are going to get the shape. We not only want 1 layer of the deep slate, but we will want to have 2 layers, taking care to join everything together in the corners as I mentioned. We're going to do this one more time, so we've done it once, twice, 3rd time's the charm. So once again, above and behind the 2 layers of deep slate, we want to extend the polished black stone up and back. So this is going to be 1 layer, and then this is going to be the 2nd layer, just like this. That is absolutely perfect. Now, whilst we are here, we are going to add a layer of blue concrete behind the deep slate, like this, and once again kind of following the same pattern, joining it all together in the corners and everything just like this. We then want to take that row of blue concrete and extend it upwards by 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course we want to do this with every single other blue concrete that is here. This is going to take a while. Perfect, that puts us in a really good position for adding detail to these stands later, but for now I think it's important for us to continue doing this to the rest of the stadium. Hopefully this will be really straightforward to quickly apply to all of the other 3 quarters of the stadium, but if you do have any trouble whatsoever, please do refer back to an earlier point in the video. But just to give you a refresher, we want to place, first of all, 2 layers of polished deep slate directly behind the ground level row of blue concrete. We then want to place 2 more layers of deep slate above and behind the first layer, and then another behind the second. After that, we then want to add another layer of blue concrete behind the final row of deep slate, extend the blue concrete upwards by 5 rows, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. With each one of the 4 stands made, or at least the base structures of them, we are now able to add details to them. So, pick a stand, any stand, it literally doesn't matter which one. Let's go for this one. Come all the way over to your chosen stand and find the player tunnel part of the stand. We then want to place 7 smooth quartz stairs extending from the tunnel inwards in front of the second layer of polished deep slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come all the way over to the fan tunnel and do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Destroy 5 polished deep slate extending left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and replace that with black stone stairs. You can actually do this on the next level as well whilst we're destroying stuff. Continue placing a row of 7 smooth quartz stairs opposite the blackstone stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then join both sets of stairs together using a row of blue concrete like this. With the first level of seating laid out, all we have to do is place smooth quartz stairs on the next level in the exact same place as we placed the smooth quartz stairs on the previous level, and this will give us a nice jump start onto the next 2 levels of the stand. So as you can see, we have just copied all of the smooth quartz stairs onto each of the next levels like this. All we're going to do from here is make some corner seating. So if we leave a gap of 1 between the 2 inward corners of the rows of smooth quartz stair, we'll leave a gap of 1, and then we will literally just make some curved seating like this. So we'll just keep it nice and separate. We'll do this on both levels, and we just want to have something which should look like this. So that's perfect. From here, I would recommend adding some iron bars to the ground level blue concrete. So this is just in front of the ground level seats like this, and then they'll spread and connect to the other stands like so. And once we've done that, we also have to add a screen. So using black concrete, we're going to leave a gap of 1 between the smooth quartz stairs here, so we'll leave a gap of 1, and then against the wall we want to add a diagonal row of black concrete, and you'll have to build this up a couple of rows. So you want to add a row of 3 black concrete just slotted into this corner, and then extend it outwards to make it like a row of 4. And then we just want to add an additional layer on top of this black concrete like this. We might even add another layer so it goes all the way up to the top, and then that will just be a viewing screen. There is just a little bit more left to these stands, but we'll work that out on the next part. I'm sure that I don't have to tell you what we're going to do next. Now that we have pretty much 99% completed one of the stands, we are going to be applying that level of detail to each one of the other 3. Now that we have added detail to each one of the 4 stands, I think it's now a good time for us to actually make the final walls of the stadium. So first of all, we should probably seal up the stadium where we have holes in it. This is basically above each one of the tunnels. If we just combine both of the rows of blue concrete together, left to right like this, then that will just give us a nice, big, solid, completed shape to work with. Because it's really easy to do the rest of the stadium. It's really simple to actually make the rest of the walls. It would just be more simple if we just had all of these filled in first. So there we go, perfect. You can now see that we have this sort of oval shape, or rectangle, whatever you want to call it. So now that we have this, we then want to place a row of blue concrete behind and below the top row of the oval / rectangle that we've made. The oval shape will extend all the way around the corners. It will wrap around completely, and well, I mean, there's pretty much nothing else to it. It will just join together in the corners. It'll go around the entire circumference of the stadium. If ovals have circumferences? Is that only circles? Is an oval just a weird circle? I think that we all know the answer to that. Well, anyway, the idea is simple. We just want to extend this row all the way around like so. It will take a while. The stadium is pretty big. And eventually, once we connect all the way back... Give it a second. I thought we were closer. There we go. Eventually, we will connect all the way back. Now, we should only have to do that one more time. So if we add yet another layer of blue concrete below and around the outside, that will give us the shape of the stadium. So this is the final shape of the stadium. It doesn't get any wider than this. We want to add a row of blue concrete that goes all the way around, below and outer the previous row. And then we want to join that row of blue concrete all the way down to the ground. Really simple stuff, just takes a while to do. With the actual structure of the stadium complete, we are now going to make sure that all of the tunnels look nice and clean, and then we are going to add some floodlights, and also some lighting to the stands. Not specifically in that order. So let's come over to each one of the fan tunnels first of all, and this one seems okay. I quite like the idea of the fan tunnels being left open, like completely left open like this, and on the sides you can even emphasize these if you want to, like add an extra row of blue concrete around them if you like to further emphasize that, like, this is how we get in. So let's take a look at the opposite side. The opposite side's actually looking nice and clean as well. Just got to add a row of blue concrete underneath here, and then I'm going to add a row of blue concrete just around the outside. Once again, just to make it look a little bit cleaner. On the fan tunnels, I am going to floor them using smooth stone, so I'll just grab that for a little bit later. We'll do all of the floor work a bit later on. Let's take a look at the player tunnels. I think the player tunnels will probably be in quite good condition. I'm just going to add some blue concrete to the left and right here just to fill in the sides of the stands, and then we will move on to these a little bit later, just making sure that all of the gaps are filled in just on these sides, ready to add further detail later on. That's absolutely perfect. So with all of the tunnels intact, we are going to add each one of the 4 floodlights, and these are really simple to do, ladies and gentlemen. So we want to take, extending outwards from each one of the 4 corners of the stadium, we want to find the center block on the corner, the very corner of the corner, leave a gap of 2 extending out, so 1, 2 diagonally, so on the corner of the grid essentially, we want to place a row of andesite wall that extends upwards, make sure there is even and level with the top of the stadium, add 2 more rows on top, 1, 2, add light grey concrete on top of that, and then, as we look at the light grey concrete like this, from the actual inside the stadium looking out, we want to extend that light grey concrete forwards, back, forwards, like this. So forwards, back, forwards, like this. So we have 4 parts. I am now going to place 2 layers of shroomlight on top of this, and then light grey concrete on top of that. So you can either use light grey concrete or you can use shulker boxes. Shulker boxes are a little bit more detailed. I quite like them. It's up to you whether you prefer those to the light grey concrete. Both of them are very legitimate. It's completely up to you which you would prefer. It's really personal preference. And there we go. So we literally just need to do that 3 more times. I think it's awesome how much of a difference the floodlights make. I think that it really does just sort of add to the atmosphere. And in the vein of adding lights to the stadium, I would like to add some above the stand areas. So this is specifically for the long sides, and there is a little on the short ends as well, but the long sides of these stands come all the way up to the top row of quartz stairs, and we want the left and right pairs of smooth quartz stairs to join together. The way that we're going to do this is we are going to dig a row behind them in the blue concrete like this, and then we're going to dig 1, 2 rows above them. So we're making an alcove above and behind the pair of smooth quartz stairs. We're just going to fill the alcove in using blue concrete like this. This is perfect. And then we're going to add lanterns hanging below or at the top of the alcove, and the lanterns will correspond with the ends of the rows of smooth quartz stair. Now that sounds really complicated, but if you look at it, really easy. So once we've done this, we will apply this to all of the other 3 instances of